We got to talk about. First off, did you look at the Cleveland Browns injury situation? We've lost like 4 or 5 starters in the past 4 hours. Arakpo, gone. Delpert, gone. Jedrick Willis, horrible draft selection. He's been gone. Who cares? Maurice Hurst, gone. This team, and I'm going to tell you why these guys are dropping like flies. Because Sunday's game, Kevin Stefanski took a blowout win and turned it into a fucking nail-biter. You know what happens when you get a blowout win? Guys on the other team quit, you rest, your backups get in. It's just a big party. That's all it is. You know what happens when you're in a nail-biter? Guys that are usually on the bench resting because you're blowing out the other team, gotta play. They gotta play longer and harder now because of Stefanski. This guy could fuck up a cup of coffee, and that's why our guys are getting hurt. All these people think Stefanski's coaching. Oh my God, he's 8-5. Listen. We're 8-5 because of Jim Schwartz. We're 8-5 because of the Hopkins, the kicker. We're 8-5 because of the punter. It has nothing to do with Kevin Stefanski. He's the beneficiary of great coaching. He's the weak link of the whole fucking staff. Seriously, you think about it. His play calling is the reason this team isn't 11-2. If they had an offensive coordinator, they'd probably be 11-2 right now. His play calling is the reason Deshaun Watson is no longer the Deshaun Watson of 2020. Joe Flacco has saved Stefanski because Joe Flacco can run this little archaic high school offense to a T. And I like Joe Flacco. Let me tell you something. I made a statement the other day. I can honestly say I've never said an ill word about Joe Flacco when he was on the Ravens. Never hated the guy. And people will say, well, why? He owned us. Joe Flacco literally owns, I think he's like 18-3 against the Browns. But I never hated the guy. He's one of those guys that's not hateable. He's my favorite Cleveland Browns player right now. The guy is a beast, and I'm going to tell you right now. If we didn't have all these injuries, we didn't have the idiot head coach, this team could go to the Super Bowl with that defense. But we're losing defensive players now. I mean, really, we lost like 4 starters. Could it still be done? Yes, but it's going to be tough. Our safeties are gone. We got Thornhill, but Delpit's gone. Rodney McLeod, he's been gone. We just had so many injuries this year, and it's all Stefanski. The guy, listen, you people want to say Stefanski. What has he done the last 2 fucking years? Tell me what Stefanski's done the last 2 fucking years with the same roster. Nothing. What's he done with Deshaun Watson? Nothing. Stefanski's the dumbest coach in football. When you go out and trade 3 number 1 draft picks for a guy like Deshaun Watson, and you bring him into Cleveland to run an archaic 1988 Clint Didier high school offense that Kirk Cousins couldn't stand, that chased Stephon Diggs out of fucking Minnesota, Kirk Cousins now flourishing without it. When you don't tailor your offense to that guy's skill sets, you got a problem. And your problem is you don't know how to fucking devise an modern NFL offense. I can't. The Gen Z Browns fans are why people think he's coach of the year. They don't know nothing about football. Let me harken back to by the way, the COVID season. Oh, he was coach of the year. Throw that out. Coach of the year? Half the fucking season was played with 2,000 people in the stands. There's no people in the stands. And Stefanski didn't even get a playoff win because he wasn't there. If Stefanski coached against the Steelers that game, we lose that game. The reason we're 8-5, like I said, is Bill Callahan, Bubba Ventrone, and Jim Schwartz. Stefanski lost the Seahawks game because he chose to have a journeyman quarterback that was undrafted that played in the XFL throw the ball instead of run Kareem Hunt or run whoever. We lost that game because of Stefanski. He lost the Denver Bronco game because he tried to stupid his play after your quarterback was injured. He's just a dumbass. So I was actually optimistic because we're winning in spite of Stefanski. But, man, listening to Delpit being out now, Oronkpo and Maurice Hurst, this is almost too much to overcome. However, Joe Flacco, and the reason I say Joe Flacco like that is because those defensive players now, they look at Joe Flacco and they're like, this guy can do something. And let me tell you something about the Cleveland Browns with Joe Flacco. They are capable of scoring points with Joe Flacco because Joe Flacco's seen every defense you're going to throw at him. So they're capable of scoring points now. They may have to do that because we're losing, like I say, defensive plays at an alarming rate because of Stefanski. But, and don't forget Joe Flacco in the playoffs. He's unbelievable. But yeah, let's pump the brakes on Stefanski. He's not coach of the year. What Zach Taylor's doing in Cincinnati with that Browning kid is better than what Stefanski's done. Trust me. They don't even miss Burrow. Not one bit do they miss Burrow. In fact, in some regards, I think the Bengals are better off without Burrow right now because Joe Mixon's involved. All the other receivers are involved. When Burrow plays, he gets other guys involved, but not to the extent this Browning kid's doing it. So in the Bengals, that's a pretty good problem to have there because you got Joe Burrow and you got this Browning kid. If this Browning kid gets into the playoffs and plays good, whatever, you could actually trade Browning or you could trade Burrow and say, hey, we got Browning on the cheap. So that's an interesting situation over there. And like I said, it's never been easier to play quarterback in this league. It's the easiest time to play quarterback. Receivers can't get hit no more, so they'll catch every ball. Quarterbacks can't get hit. They're not scared to sit in the pocket and deliver balls. That's why you see all these quarterbacks throwing for big yards and big TDs. Although this year it's a little down, but you get the point. But yeah, these injuries that hit the Browns the last couple hours they're insurmountable. If the Cleveland Browns had a guy like John Gruden or any other coach anybody outside of Kevin Stefanski, they'd be 11-2, 12-1 right now. They'd have an offense. Deshaun Watson would have been back to the player he was in 2020 because I can't think of another coach that wouldn't have built an offense, devised an offense around Deshaun Watson's strengths. I just can't think of it. But you got to also ask yourself this question too. It is a game manager's offense that Stefanski has. It's an archaic high school offense, and Deshaun Watson really wasn't comfortable in it. And it's one of the easiest offenses to run. From what I see, it's just basic bland. But he couldn't really run it effectively. Yeah, he's had a few moments, 9, 10 good quarters out of 15 games? That's not worth $230 million. That's not worth giving up 3 first-round draft picks. So, and I'll be honest with you, I want to win another championship. I do. I know a lot of people say, I hope the Browns lose this and that because, we want to clown the Stefanski fans. I want to win another championship. But if we lose, then I'll clown the Stefanski fans. These people don't realize, if Stefanski would just give up play calling, then I don't care if he coaches the team because then he can't fuck the game up. You see that game the other day, the Ravens game, or the Jaguar game? We were up 28-14. We got the ball back after a great stop defensively, 3 and out, and runs on first down. Throws on first down. Second down, throws again. And Flacco dropped back. I think it was a fumble or something, but he didn't need to throw the ball there. We're 6 minutes left in the third quarter, right? The way your defense was playing, you could have punted them the ball. They're not moving the ball. They would have probably took the players out in the fourth quarter because what's his name was still halfway injured, whatever. But that was an easy blowout. But Stefanski don't see it that way. You know what he sees? It's a challenge. This is like a video game to me. Oh, I can call plays to see how well they work. He loses sight of what the main goal is. And the main goal is to win the football game. But he loses sight of that. Stefanski loves calling plays like a chess match. And he's killing the team. Consequently, all these players are getting injured now because a simple blowout turned into a nail-biter. If we would have lost that game, these Stefanski fanboys are like, well, yeah, it's a 14-point lead. The defense gave it up. That's what these Gen Z Browns fans. You know why these Gen Z Browns fans like Stefanski? I'm going to tell you why. Because they've never seen the Cleveland Browns do any good in their lives. Never. They've never seen a good Browns team, so they just want to get to the playoffs. Me, I'm thinking about I want home field. If we didn't lose that Seattle game, if we didn't lose that Steeler game, we'd have home field advantage right now. Why'd we lose that Steeler game? Because Deshaun Watson sucked and Kevin Stefanski sucked. Why'd we lose the Seattle game? Because Kevin Stefanski sucked. Why'd we lose the Denver game? Because Kevin Stefanski sucked. Why'd we lose the Rams game? Because Kevin Stefanski sucked. You see where I'm going at? The losses we have are all on Kevin. The wins, he has nothing to do with them. Nothing. If he would have just ran the ball, those players wouldn't be injured. And like I said, if he gave a play calling, I don't know why Haslam don't say, listen, I gave you a year with Watson. This guy ain't getting no better. I got to get another play caller. If you don't like it, you got to go. I don't know why he doesn't. Like I say, if Stefanski gives a play calling, I don't give a fuck he coaches the team because he can't hurt the team. I can't believe there are people out there that still believe in the coach of the year, Stefanski. Do you remember that year when he got coach of the year in that COVID season in front of 1,200 fans? Do you remember at home against Pittsburgh Steelers backups, last game of the season, they were resting their starters, and we had to win the game to get in the playoffs, and you know what happened? It took a last-second first down by Baker Mayfield with like 2 minutes left to win that game. Took a last-second first down to win that game. You know what happened the following week when he had COVID? When he wasn't at the fucking stadium? When he was in his basement? We beat the Pittsburgh Steelers like 49-27. Yeah. You get the picture now? Stefanski is horrible. And you people just don't understand it. He's not a good coach. He's a horrible play caller. Oh my God, his play calling's terrible. Like I said, that game should have been a blowout. And this is why people that don't understand football never played the game at a high level. In games like blowouts, you think players, listen, people love playing football, but those players, when they're playing on Sunday, they want to get the game over as quick as possible, especially the defensive plays. They want to go rest. They don't want to be out there all day game struggling. They want to get it over with. Stefanski don't give a fuck, though. He cares about himself, his enjoyment of calling plays. So, I hope the Browns win their 9th championship. I really do. And it's going to be hard with Stefanski. And it's even going to be real hard with these injuries. But if they want any shot at winning their 9th championship, they should have fired Kevin Stefanski. Andrew Berry's terrible. Look at his draft picks. Jedrick Willis, terrible. Tristan Wirfs way better. Last year, they didn't get any defensive tackles. They drafted Cade York, sucks. Thank God they made a trade for that guy from San Diego, the Hopkins. If we didn't have Hopkins right now, we'd probably have 3 wins. Anyway, I was pumped up about the Browns, but right now with all these injuries, it's not looking good.